and thank you for joining us on Weather Out West this Tuesday, November 19th. Here's what we're tracking for you today. As another round of rain is on the way, parts of the West Coast woke up to visibility issues from dense fog. This was the view of Mount Rainier this morning in Washington State. An impressive sunrise, but yes, you can see those low clouds moving through. A blanket of fog is moving through the city of Tacoma down below. We'll show you where fog could cause commute issues moving forward. Plus, Thanksgiving is right around the corner. From turkey frying warnings, dangerous travel, and Heinz's Friends-inspired condiments, we've got what you need to know before the big feast. And today marks 1 year since a tree split a Washington home in half during the deadly bomb cyclone. Just one example of the storm's powerful damage. Now the family is rebuilding brick by brick the roadblocks they've faced over the last 12 months. We'll check in with how their rebuilding is going. Happy Wednesday and welcome to Weather Out West, the hour-long show where we showcase what's happening weather-wise across the western United States. I'm your host, meteorologist Leah Pizzetti. We begin today looking at what could be a cold and snowy December for parts of the United States. A weakened polar vortex will be responsible for the dramatic weather pattern change, pushing frigid Arctic air south. It could be one of the earliest significant polar vortex disruptions ever recorded. Scientists say at this point it's still too difficult to predict exactly where the polar vortex will deliver its icy blast, but of course we will keep you updated. Let's begin our forecasts in the drenched desert. Rain is coming down in Arizona. Meteorologist Ginger Jeffries is tracking the rain chances today from Phoenix.
I'm meteorologist Ginger Jeffries. We'll look at your weather out west where, it has been on the wet side. In fact, we do have some weather advisories today. A flash flood watch has now been expanded to include Phoenix because, we've got more rain on the horizon. I think the most global impact from today, though, will be the temperatures. We are coming way down from the upper 80s last week to the 70s yesterday and now the 60s. That cold air element from this wave of moisture that is dropping in for the Pacific Northwest really starting to drop the mercury. So across Arizona, take a look. Temperature-wise, we've got 41 today in Flagstaff, 66 in Parker. I've got 63 in Gila Bend, about 65 in Tucson, 50 in Show Low, and 48 today in Payson. All right, here we go. Through tonight, we've got this flash flood watch, all the areas you see in green. And again, it has been expanded, not necessarily because we are looking for heavier rainfall today, but because the ground is already saturated. So our opportunity to flood is going to be a lot more rapid. So avoid those flood prone areas, meaning creeks, canyons, and low water crossings. Just don't even tempt it. And this goes through tonight. Because of the rain, because of the flood potential and the thunderstorm potential for tonight, we do have a weather impact alert for you today. Now tomorrow, we still have a little bit of rainfall in the works, and we possibly could see some on Friday. It's just the coverage is really going down. So as you can see, we're still looking for some substantial shower activity. A lot of it once again focused on the west and the northern part of the state. And that's all because this moisture is coming in from the southwest and it's taking a due north track. Typically, we see more of a northeasterly track, and instead this one's shooting straight up. So as it starts to expand, again, it is going to start to include the metro. And as you can see, by about 8 o'clock this evening, we've got these showers peppering the region and at times looking dynamic. So once again, we got to be on the lookout for some showers that are going to take us into Thursday and Friday. As you can see, now this is more the potential versus measurable rainfall. We still have that potential, and it's going to shift more to the east side on Thursday. But again, we're going to add to our accumulated rainfall. We should get up to about 3/4 of an inch. But yesterday, my goodness, Glendale already picking up 1 inch of rain. So take a look at some of the rainfall totals. It's really hit or miss. Yes, I mean Queen Creek at 8/100ths of an inch, and then we're closing in on 3/4 of an inch in Mesa. So just kind of lets you know the potential out there. And today, again, we are still looking to get up to about 3/4 of an inch in Phoenix, which will already put our above normal rainfall in the beefy category. We are over 1.5 inches of our normal range. And as you can see, even through Sunday, we've got an outside chance. It's not much. Don't cancel your plans this weekend. Only about a 30% opportunity, but still, we've got some moisture on the horizon. So today, your forecast, passing showers, daytime highs in the mid 60s, higher elevations, we'll see the 40s, 30s, and 20s overnight. As a result, I really expect to see that snow elevation starting to drop. We should be down to about 6,500 feet by Thursday morning. And look at these temperatures. All that cold air, it's sticking around. Next 5 days, Phoenix, we're in the 60s.
Take a look at these pictures shared by West Metro Fire Rescue in Colorado. Firefighters were called to the Rooney Valley neighborhood for a cat stuck behind a wall. Firefighters used thermal imaging to track down the kitty's exact hiding spot in the wall, then carefully cut out a part of the drywall to get him out. The family was doing remodeling in another room and says the cat slid through an opening and got stuck. But all is well now, and the cat was safely rescued. Oh, I'm glad to hear it. Well, the snow has yet to make an appearance in Colorado, but could that change soon for the low-level areas? Our team in Denver is tracking those snow chances in the Mile High City.
Hello from Denver, Colorado. I'm 9 News Weather Impact Team Chief Meteorologist Kathy Sabin. We have seen a very warm, a very dry, extended late fall that is continuing to move into the end of November and into early December. Not much in the way of rain or snow anywhere across the state, but Mother Nature has produced some beautiful sunrise and sunset shots with fabulous wave clouds, lenticular clouds, so we're grateful for that. High pressure does show signs of shifting in response to a trough off to the west. 2 pieces of energy coming in, but will the storm that's bringing mountain snow stay cold enough to bring some snow to Denver? That's our big conundrum this week. Ahead of it, southwest winds transporting in the high and mid-level cloud cover. And as we move through the afternoon today, we may see some rain and snow showers across western Colorado. Denver stays dry today. Our best shot at seeing rain starts Thursday. So we're tracking that cold air and hoping that this trough can tap into enough of it that we see anywhere from 3 to 6 inches of snow in the central and southern mountains, and maybe a brief rain-snow mix here in Denver on Friday morning. That would be the season's first snowfall, possibly, if we get a trace or any measurable snow really out by DIA. We are running way past average. Our average for snowfall is typically in mid-October. So this warm, dry weather pattern also has concerns for high fire danger. So the moisture coming in, first in the form of mountain snow and then for lower elevation rain, we will take it. It's just a little weirdly warm and dry for November and so close to the holidays. So a sunny day in Denver today. The Front Range and Eastern Plains stay dry. Moisture increases across the western slope. Snow starts to fill into the central and southern mountains tonight. We start in the 40s today, move to the mid 60s by the afternoon. That would be 10 degrees warmer than average, just like yesterday. Cooler with a chance for rain Thursday. Brief mix of rain and snow possible early Friday. A mild, dry weekend, and we're tracking another storm for next week, perilously close to Thanksgiving.
I'm 9 News Weather Impact Team's Katie LaSalle. We have been talking about a storm system set to impact Colorado all this week. Tomorrow and on Friday, we're bracing for some mountain snow. It's looking like just wet weather for the Denver area. So rain likely, some significant rainfall though, upwards of 1/2 inch of moisture possible here in Denver, our southern high country here in Colorado, San Juan, Sangre de Cristo mountain range, at most 4 to 8 inches with winter weather advisories posted. Wet roadways expected for Denver, and accumulations will only be over 6,500 feet, it looks like. So as we take you through our 7-day forecast, we will not be talking about Denver's first snow. Early Friday morning as overnight lows fall to the mid-30s. This is unusually late. We saw snow over high terrain in Hawaii before Denver this year, and it's going to be the second latest on record first snowfall for Denver. Now, as we get into next week, we are tracking a much colder weather system. That'll bring us a better chance for precipitation falling in terms of rain to snow here over the metro area just in time for the end of the week. maybe after Thanksgiving. But as of right now, we are getting to that second latest first date on record, December 21st of 2021. December 10th, that is, of 2021 is when we last saw the latest first snowfall date. So we're keeping our fingers crossed that will not happen this year. Our 8 to 14 day temperature outlook is looking very cold next week, especially Wednesday into Thanksgiving on Thursday and beyond. That'll bring us a much better chance for seeing some much needed snowfall. It'll be a welcome sight here for the Front Range as we get into the end of November and early December.
Still ahead, conditions are mild in the northwest, but that's lending itself to fog formation. We're watching fog potential moving forward after the break. Well, Thanksgiving is right around the corner, and it is time for the annual reminder to be aware when frying a turkey. The Chicago Fire Department held a demonstration, there it goes, on the potential hazards of cooking a bird this way. The National Fire Protection Association says large amounts of oil at hard temperatures create the fire and burning risk when cooking, especially if the turkey is frozen. To ensure better safety, the group recommends using a fryer that does not use oil. If you're cooking in your kitchen, here are other tips. Cooks need to stay in the kitchen while using the stovetop. Make sure to keep children away from the stove to avoid serious burns or injuries, and also make sure your smoke alarms are working properly. Thanksgiving is the peak day for home cooking fires, more than 3 times the daily average. Christmas Day and Christmas Eve fires rank second and third. Okay, well, this is interesting. Once you have properly cooked your Thanksgiving food, Heinz has come out with a new condiment you can use during your meal. Inspired by the show Friends, the sauce is called Leftover Gravy, and it pays tribute to the one with Ross's Sandwich, the season 5 episode featuring a Thanksgiving leftovers sandwich dubbed the Moist Maker. Heinz says the leftover gravy sauce is made with real turkey broth and is available starting today, but only online at Walmart. I actually think that sounds pretty good. All right, when everything is said and done, you're full from your meal, the Thanksgiving travel back home is one of the most dangerous periods of the year. The crash rate for the Sunday after Thanksgiving is 65% higher than the Sunday before. Millions of people head home, and commercial trucks and delivery drivers hit the road once again. Early winter weather can also be a factor as well. Experts say drivers can reduce their risk if they leave earlier in the day, avoid traveling at night, and keep extra space around large trucks. Let's just head down I-5 to Portland. Oregon and Western Oregon are dealing with very similar conditions. The cities are side by side. Let's take a trip down I-5 to Oregon, and we will check in with Rod Hill in Portland with the foggy start to the day there as well. Rod.
It has been a chilly start once again this morning down here in the Rose City. I'm meteorologist Rod Hill. One of our stories has been fog. A lot of that has lifted, and been showing our Timberline camera this morning to illustrate the fact that if you do have low clouds and fog, it is sunny blue for the most part up top. Not perfectly clear, but pretty nice. Timberline's been, let's see here. What's temperature? Well, that's right. I didn't set it. But it's been in the upper 20s up there. Slightly cooler than the Willamette Valley, but not much. So here's a setup today. Elongated band of clouds, that's a rainmaker for us tonight. And not always, but often, when you see these elongated fetch of clouds along a cold front, it tells you that it's not a very strong system, and the rain you get will fairly quickly be narrow and pass through the region. And I think that is what we're dealing with this time around. This will hit showers along the coast starting this evening, and some rain coming into Portland overnight tonight. It will throw increasing clouds our way this afternoon. So as I mentioned, it's kind of a mixed bag this morning. This afternoon, here we are getting into 1 o'clock. There come the clouds across the area. There's 7 o'clock this evening showing the first batch of rain hitting Newport. And that weekends, and here is what could be a 1/10 of an inch of rain, maybe that much, between Salem and Portland. This is late evening into the midnight hour, and then that passes. And then we wake up tomorrow morning, and we've got some lingering scattered showers. Watch how quickly these scattered showers disappear. This is Thursday, and they'll quickly get out of here, and we'll see some afternoon sunshine. So here's what our cameras look like. This is going to cloud over probably during the morning hours. This is our snook winds Casino Resort in Lincoln City, but it's been a beautiful morning. Temperatures have been in the 30s. Here's Salem, which was foggy early morning. Now the question is, I think it's very possible about the time you folks get out of the cloud cover, the new batch of clouds this afternoon will be rolling in. And if that's the case, if you don't get any sun, you'll probably only warm up to about 45, 46 degrees. So kind of a chilly afternoon. Portland look at that, being treated, the Rose City downtown, to some beautiful morning sun, and we will see increasing clouds eventually becoming overcast this afternoon. I think we'll get enough of a jolt from the morning sun to get up to 50 degrees or maybe a little bit warmer than that. So here are the afternoon numbers. Kind of cool. I mean, central and eastern areas only in the 40s today, and that's with partly sunny skies. The beach overcast going into the afternoon, but staying dry through sunset, which of course is in the 4 o'clock hour now, low 50s. And here's that cooler weather with perhaps no sun today. Albany and Salem about 46, but Portland and northward getting some sun and warming up to about 51 degrees. Bit of an east wind coming out of the gorge to about 25 today, nothing strong. That system coming in tonight's not going to bring any rain with it. Here's our 7-day forecast. So 52 today. The morning lingering showers and basically becoming mostly sunny in the afternoon and all dry, 54. Now at this moment, we're still projecting all dry Friday, all dry Saturday, all dry Sunday. Overnight lows will start to hang closer to 40 and be a little bit warmer. We've been in the 30s the last, this is the third morning in a row we've been in the 30s. There is rain that's streaming in along the Canadian border and perhaps down into Seattle for parts of the weekend. So just note that we're watching that flow pattern, but right now we look to be dry.
Coming up after the break, today marks 1 year since a bomb cyclone blew through western Washington. Multiple gusts stronger than 70 miles per hour were reported. Trees toppled over onto homes and cars, and the area is still cleaning up 1 year later. We're going to check in with a family still working to rebuild after this. Welcome back. A bomb cyclone is a technical term for a storm that rapidly intensifies. A strong bomb cyclone ripped through the Northwest 1 year ago today. Hundreds of thousands in Washington were without power, and cleanup took weeks. In fact, some are still struggling to rebuild. One family in Kitsap County in western Washington had a tree crash through their home. Seattle's Eric Wilkinson got an update from the family and finds out why it has taken so long to recover.
Yeah, so this is where my bedroom was.
This was Jackson McKelvey's special place, the Kingston vacation home where he spent summers and holidays since he was born, a family tradition for more than half a century.
It's just been kind of sad to especially see a place like this that I've obviously grown up in. It's been tough to see it like this.
1 year ago, an historic storm toppled a neighbor's 275-foot tree, quite literally splitting this home in half.
It's just a picture, but this is how little they were when we were up here.
3 generations of family were preparing to spend Thanksgiving here. Jackson's mom, Tira, can't bear to think what could have happened if the storm had hit a week later.
We're so fortunate nobody was here, because that's what we need to hold on to, is that we're all still here.
The rubble here was all cleared away back in February, but a slow permitting process has kept the family from rebuilding. 1 full year after the bomb cyclone, aftershocks are still being felt. Tira's parents bought the home in 1971. Now in their 80s, she says the destruction is taking an emotional and physical toll.
It's broken their hearts, and yeah, It's been tough.
The family says they haven't heard anything from the tree's owner. They encourage everyone to look at trees on nearby properties and have discussions with neighbors as well as local officials about concerns.
This was devastating. This could have been prevented. Yeah, so we're going to have to fix the foundation.
For now, the family focuses on the future. 15-year-old Jackson gets to be part of the rebuild, laying a foundation for his kids to one day experience the happiness he had here.
It's tough, but I know good things will happen, and it'll be back. It'll be back soon.
Despite the storm, this house divided has never been more together.
We'll build new memories and new walls. We'll get through it.
In Kingston, Eric Wilkinson, King 5 News.
Last year's bomb cyclone also impacted 2 schools in the Issaquah School District in Western Washington from fallen trees. In our next half hour, we'll look at how the school district recovered from the powerful storm and what they're asking the community to do to help. We'll have that plus our forecast from Ashley in Western Washington in just a bit. Welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. How cute is this? China is celebrating the upcoming winter by holding a penguin parade. This is at Harbin Polar Park in northeastern China. It broke a record by featuring 30 penguins, including this one in an orange backpack. That was adorable. As you can see, people embrace the chance to interact with the little guys, and you definitely can't blame them. Well, back in the States, Bogus Basin Ski Resort in Idaho is making headlines with a game-changing technology that could revolutionize your ski season. The mountain is the first in the country to test Snow Secure, a Finnish invention that stores snow through the summer. Here's how it works. Large insulated mats keep snow frozen, even in temperatures in the triple digits. This summer, Bogus stored a giant snow pile, and when it was finally uncovered in October, get this, most of it was still frozen. That would be interesting. And staying in Idaho, let's get to Hector Mendoza, who is watching patchy fog and a few shower chances from Boise. Hector?
Well, after some of that fog we had early on yesterday, we had some clearer conditions and temperatures stayed pretty mild as we are still slightly above average, which normally temperatures around the Treasure Valley are hitting the upper 40s into the low 50s, but still not really going to change too much from some of these 50-degree temperatures we're going to be seeing that we saw yesterday through today. And then we're expecting, again, milder temperatures across portions of the mountains. But I did want to pay attention to this Bogus Basin webcam, as after we saw some of that fog make its way out and we saw some of the clearer conditions through the afternoon yesterday, we did start to see a little bit more start to develop there into the overnight hours, as you can see over the distance there. This is a look at Bogus Basin, the Treasure Valley off into the distance. And again, we continue to see a little bit more of those foggier conditions staying relatively clear as we continue through the morning, but seeing a little bit more of that really start to pick up here as we've continued through the morning. We also saw some changes as yesterday the Magic Valley didn't get absolutely any fog or started to see it later on in through the morning, but for today, we saw a lot more of that denser fog. Some spots like Jerome went down to about a quarter of a mile of visibility. So that was something that we saw here. But that is going to continue as we get through the rest of this week, as we're going to see some of those patchy, foggy conditions here through the next couple of nights and mornings. The one thing that is going to hold steady is going to be some of the temperatures we're going to be seeing. It looks likely that we stick around with some of these 50-degree temperatures through Monday, and then we'll start to see some of those temperatures start to fall a little bit more to average temperatures and slightly below as we get closer to Thanksgiving. So that's something that we're going to continue to keep an eye on. But as we look on ahead here through this future cast, we're going to see that a lot of that rain that we saw has made its way on out. We expect drier conditions there through the afternoon and evening. And then as we get towards Wednesday night and through early Wednesday morning, Thursday morning, that is, we're going to start to see a little bit more of those showers there through the Magic Valley, starting to pick up a little bit more between 7 to 9 o'clock. as we get here through the Treasure Valley. A lot of this is going to stay pretty scattered. Some of the showers stay pretty light, so that's something to anticipate. It's not going to be a complete washout for tomorrow, but we will see some damp roads through the commute hours, and then we're going to see a little bit more of that here through the afternoon, and it's going to start to die down just a little bit more, and then we're expecting some of the clear conditions there through the rest of the day on Friday, and then heading in through Saturday. So as we look at our 7-day forecast here through Twin Falls, temperatures will stay into the upper 40s. So again, contending with some of the fog early on this morning, seeing some of those conditions start to clear out through this afternoon. A possibility of some of those showers comes along. That is most likely sticking around through the morning and still seeing very low chances. But then after that, we stay partly cloudy. Temperatures stay into the upper 40s up until Saturday. Then we'll start to see those temperatures rise. But the thing that does start to change is some of those morning temperatures as we're into the mid 30s to low 40s here through today, dropping down to the upper 20s all the way through Saturday and Sunday, warming up just a little bit. But then as we get towards the afternoon on Tuesday, that's when we'll see our first sort of significant cool down compared to what we're seeing here for the past couple of days. But that's going to be the similar case here in Boise as we're looking at the 7-day forecast. A higher chance of some of those showers, but still sticking around there through Thursday morning. We could see a possibility of some patchy fog that comes along through Thursday morning as well. Then we'll see some of those clearer conditions, partly cloudy skies, sunshine a little bit more on Friday, and then we see another cool down as we get on through Tuesday. And then we're expecting some unsettled weather, so another chance of some showers that comes along Monday into Tuesday.
Thank you, Hector. And now we will jump over to nearby Eastern Washington with meteorologist Thomas Patrick.
Meteorologist Thomas Patrick in Spokane, Washington. After a cloudy early morning, things have already gotten a bit sunnier here, and that is the trend for today. We'll soak in that sunshine because let's face it, those daytime is getting shorter, the sun angle is getting a little lower, so it gets a little bit harder to get warmer during the day. It is mid-November. We're just about a week to Thanksgiving here. Funny, I should mention that because I'm already looking ahead at the Thanksgiving forecast, which could be a little messy for the Pacific Northwest. And since that is a huge travel weekend, I want to make sure everybody has as much lead time as possible to help you get any of your travel plans planned around the weather. So let's whip through this week's forecast because not much is going to happen, just really non-bothersome kind of weather here. Yeah, a little bit of light cloud cover, but that's not going to really disturb us at all. The sunshine starting to shine through that for eastern and central Washington. But as I mentioned, with the sun angle a little lower and really just our daytimes getting shorter overall, that sunshine just doesn't go as far in terms of warming us up during the day. We'll get to the mid-40s, but probably not much better than that around Spokane, Coeur d'Alene, the Palouse, even central Washington, no warmer than 48 degrees. Still pretty much on par, or at least close enough in terms of averages between the forecast and the average high temperature for Spokane for today. By next week, we'll get closer to about 39 for the average high temperature, and we'll be forecasting below average a little bit. Again, that in a bit. Tomorrow morning, no more than a sprinkle chance for a little bit, but that was so benign that I actually don't even use a rain icon to even highlight that. There just might be a little sprinkle here or there, but that is not worrisome, not bothersome at all. So instead, a lot of my focus has been on the temperature trend and the Thanksgiving forecast in particular. So for that, we kind of look at a wider scale for sure. And for the Pacific Northwest, it is going to be colder than average. Like I mentioned, the average high temperatures will be in the 30s for Spokane by next week. So that puts our forecast highs in the 30s eventually. It just matters exactly which day that is going to happen and if there's going to be any precipitation chances, be it rain or snow, that come along with it. So I break that down like this. First, let's focus on the blue shaded areas. That would be much colder than average temperatures, which should affect most of the Pacific Northwest by Wednesday or Thanksgiving Thursday. So right by the holiday, it does start to get colder. Now, if it's cold and dry, we'll be fine. It's the snow chances that could be more worrisome. For now, I think the Cascades look to be more confidently getting snow, but it's a wider time frame. It's between Thanksgiving Thursday all the way through December 2nd or early December. Now, it may or may not snow on all of those days. That's a little bit too far out to tell. I just give you that window of 5 or 6 days that it is possible to get 4+ inches of snow. The passes will eventually get snow. It looks like either Thanksgiving or afterwards, and the temperatures absolutely will drop. As for snow chances in Spokane for Thanksgiving, it's just way too early to tell.
A very happy Wednesday to you from Seattle, Washington. I'm King 5 meteorologist Ashley Ruiz with a look at your forecast. We are seeing a lot of fog just socked in over western Washington, especially over Puget Sound. It's been very foggy. It's been very chilly out there as well. Thankfully, we're going to see this clear as the day goes on, but we're going to have showers returning tonight. Our next impactful weather, and it's not going to be everywhere. It's going to be for the Cascade foothills and valleys later today and tonight. Next chance for rain really comes into play by the weekend and possibly not until Sunday now. And I'll show you what I mean in a minute. But let's focus on this wind advisory that's in place that will impact I-90 through the Cascade foothills and valleys. This is a wind advisory from 10 a.m. till 10 p.m. tonight. This is where we could have wind gusts over 40 miles per hour. So the Cascadia gap winds, and those are going to pick up out of the east. And again, the potential for wind gust over 40 to 45 miles per hour. I wanted to show you our Columbia Center tower cam because, and by the way, this is in Seattle, pointing toward Mount Rainier. You can't see much of the mountain because of the low clouds and fog, but let's take you up to Mount Rainier at Paradise. And so above the fog bank and above the low clouds, you see blue sky. It's a beautiful morning there, a winter wonderland. We are going to have some snow chances up in the mountains, but more so in the higher elevations. Snow levels aren't even expected to come down below 4,000 feet, maybe not until early next week. Our next weather system that will send showers over the area, still offshore, and what's going to happen? It's a frontal system and it's going to split. And so most of the precipitation to the north and then to the south of us, but we're still going to have showers moving in, especially close to the coast overnight, early Thursday. So today we'll have highs in the 40s and 50s. We'll have partly sunny, mostly cloudy skies because ahead of this system, high clouds are going to move in and thicken as our afternoon, our evening will go on. So here's later tonight. And so the coast will get the rain first, of course. So moving from southwest to northeast. But as it progresses to the east and to the northeast, it's going to lose its steam or its oomph a little bit, and so not a lot of moisture may make it this far east, including Seattle. If so, it's going to be very, very light. More than likely, spots that get rain is going to be 1/10 of an inch or less. And then most of our Thursdays looking fine. Then we turn the page to Friday, and the timing of the system is going to determine just when we get the bulk of the rain. And for now, it looks as though we'll get some showers Friday and then sometime into Saturday, but the model guidance has actually slowed down a little bit with the arrival of the widespread rain. Here's Saturday, most of the rain still to the northwest of Seattle. Then we get into Sunday and it starts to move more to the south and to the southeast. And so later Sunday and into Monday, that's when we could have the wetter period where we have more showers, mountain snow as well. By Tuesday, a lot of the precipitation may be out of here. So even with snow levels coming down below pass level, may not have much in the way of meaningful snow by then. Precipitation, moisture-wise, most of the liquid water, this is what this is, 2+ over the mountains closer to the coast as well. And as I mentioned, with those snow levels coming down, staying above pass level, yes, we'll get some snow at the lower elevations. You see Snoqualmie Pass, Stevens Pass, but it's really not going to be much. And that's through next Tuesday. Additionally, it's going to be chilly in the lowlands as well. Highs only in the 40s and lows in the 30s.
Thank you, Ashley. Still ahead after the break, California rain continues. We'll have forecasts from the northern to the southern parts of the state. Welcome back to Weather Out West. The recent storm has brought several inches of snow to Mammoth Mountain in Central California. This is the first place I ever went skiing. The resort is reporting 11 to 16 inches of new snow in the past 24 hours and 18 to 32 inches of snow since Sunday. And guess what that means? Opening day for the resort is tomorrow, and it looks like a good one. Well, rain chances and maybe some mountain snow chances remain in the forecast for Northern California. Let's now go to meteorologist Monica Woods in Sacramento with the forecast.
I'm meteorologist Monica Woods, and we're still tracking an active weather pattern heading into this week with more showers in store for the coast, rain returning to the valley and the foothills, and snow again for this year. Great timing on this, though, because we really want to build that snowpack heading into the big holiday week of Thanksgiving. That's really when we start to transition into more people wanting to ski, snowboard, even using those cross-country skis over at Royal Gorge. We're at 16 inches just since November 14th. Big winners here, Bear Valley, 28 inches, Kirkwood with 15 inches, not too far behind Palisades Tahoe at 12 inches. So most resorts seeing at least some precipitation, with the biggest bonuses south of Highway 50. Statewide precipitation, though, really off to a great start for the water year. Almost all areas throughout the northern and central part of the state well ahead of where we normally are this time of year. We're talking 2+ almost 4 inches ahead of normal. A great start again to the water year. This looks very similar to what we started off with last year. Our reservoir supply levels are still looking quite good as well. This is the time of year where water managers have to be very careful determining flood risk compared to water supply. And so this is kind of the early stages where they have a little bit more flexibility. But as the season builds, it gets a little bit more tenuous. You know, that dividing line between, oh, are we keeping too much water to put us at flood risk, as opposed to holding enough water into the dry season. But every area is looking well above average, with about 50 to 75% full for those reservoirs right now. More rain and snow on the way, though. We get through our Wednesday with dry weather, but here comes the big band of precipitation starting to move our way. This will impact us starting Thursday morning. Some overnight snow developing for the Sierra as well. So if you plan to head up into the Sierra, just be prepared for those chain controls, delays, and possible closures as well. Pretty decent snowpack growing here throughout the Tahoe Basin southward through Yosemite and much of 395 into Mammoth, which, by the way, is opening on Thursday. We'll have that rain band starting to exit, though, during the day on Thursday, leading to some drier conditions by our Friday forecast. Let's get to some temperatures now for our Wednesday. Highs are going to be in the 40s up top for the Sierra, with 40s and 50s throughout the foothills. Chilly overnight lows. That's also great for snowmaking, especially when we have the opportunity to build that snowpack both from Mother Nature and from machines. Our Wednesday temperatures throughout the central Sierra are going to stay in the 40s as we head into the Central Valley. We're right around 60 degrees or so, a little bit below average. We had that cooler air mass move in, and it's really going to stick in place through much of this week. Along the Central Coast, we're in the 50s. That includes Santa Cruz through the Monterey Bay Peninsula down through Big Sur, San Luis Obispo up to 61, and then the San Joaquin Valley in the lower 60s. So again, a little bit below average. We'll see some sunshine to start the day on Wednesday, building cloud cover throughout the afternoon for the Bay Area, highs in the upper 50s. Inland areas, we're topping out right around 60, 61 degrees. Northwest coast in the 50s as well. North end of the valley, we're in the 50s. A chilly midweek outlook before we get to some of that rain. Morning lows also quite cool in the upper 40s to right around 50. That's actually really close to where we should be this time of year. This is the time of year where we go from afternoon averages around 73 degrees all the way down to 59 by the end of the month. So it's a quick drop in those average temperatures. Thursday afternoon is going to be when we really start to see the active weather drying out, though, for the big weekend, which will be a lot of travel heading into Thanksgiving week.
Thanks, Monica. San Diego and Southern California are still drying out from the last round of rain, but more is on the way. Meteorologist Vanessa Paz is timing the arrival from San Diego.
Good morning from San Diego, California. I'm CBS 8 meteorologist Vanessa Paz. We are looking at clear and cold conditions to start off our Wednesday. It's kind of the calm before the storm. We had a parade of storms that have really taken hold of San Diego since this past weekend, and we're now looking forward to our third and final storm arriving tomorrow. So let's go ahead and kind of put this into motion. As far as your weather headlines go, here's what you need to know as we get the second half of the work week going. We are looking forward to a wet evening drive. It looks like most most of the rain will dodge us for the morning commute. But when it comes to the evening hours, around rush hour, 5, 6 o'clock is when things will start coming down heavily at times. The rain will continue into Friday. And speaking of Friday, that's when we'll also see an uptick in winds. They'll start to become a little more powerful on Thursday, but even more so on Friday, especially for interior parts of the county. This weekend, we will have some slow, drying, nice days followed by some brisk evenings. As we take a look at our satellite radar composite, this is storm 2 of 3 that's now exiting the region, moving east, now saturating parts of Arizona, southern Nevada, and eastern Southern California. That's that secondary system, a cutoff low that's going to sink south, and that's going to bring us our last round of rain this week. So let's go ahead and kind of give you a play-by-play. This is Wednesday. Later on this afternoon, around 4 o'clock, we have the chance of seeing some light showers, mainly for the county's eastern half. And again, these are kind of the outer bands of that storm system that's exiting the region. And then that third and final system arrives tomorrow. Ahead of the rain, we are going to have increasing clouds as early as tomorrow morning, which is likely going to result into somewhat of a warmer start. As we take a look at Thursday around 2 o'clock, we are going to start to see some showers starting from the coast, working its way inland. And then by around 6 p.m. or so, that's when that rain becomes a little more moderate, heavy at times. We also have the chance of seeing a pop-up thunderstorm or two. If that happens, of course, the rain totals that we're expecting will be greater, localized. As we take a look at Friday early morning, we continue to see some showers. We have a brief break Friday around the 10, 11 o'clock hour, and then we'll have kind of a secondary round with this system, more confined for the county's eastern half along the mountains and desert areas. But then it shifts a little more westward, and we could again have some heavy rain spilling on into the valleys. As we take a look at the rainfall estimates, we are tracking anywhere between ½ an inch to maybe a little over an inch for areas like Poway, El Cajon, as well as Ramona. Snow levels, mind you, will drop to about 6,500 feet or so, which means areas like Julian likely won't see any snow. Unfortunately, it won't get that cold. The wind gusts, as I mentioned, we'll see an uptick in those winds, isolated gusts anywhere between 20-30 miles per hour. So Thursday, even more powerful. Friday around the 6-7 o'clock hour. Isolated gusts could exceed anywhere between 40 to 45 miles per hour or so. All right, we are starting the day off cold in the 50s, but this afternoon we will defrost San Diego, climbing into the mid 60s along the inland valleys, low 60s for the coastal and beach neighborhoods. The coastal 7-day forecast looks like this. We will have a weak ridge of high pressure redeveloping on Saturday and Sunday. So although it's going to be a little chaotic come Friday, we are looking at much calmer conditions Saturday and Sunday.
Thanks, Vanessa. As we've discussed, 1 year ago, a bomb cyclone ripped through western Washington. The powerful winds toppled trees onto power lines, roads, homes, and schools. After the break, one school district is still looking for funds to pay for the repairs, even 1 year later. One year ago today, Western Washington woke up to the devastating effects of a bomb cyclone. The Issaquah School District was among those that lost power and internet for days. Seattle's Savannah Welch tells us about the lessons learned from this destructive storm today.
The bomb cyclone about a year ago was a very hard moment because it was a confluence of challenging factors.
When the storm hit, power went out, roads were blocked, and trees crashed onto school roofs.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Forcing Issaquah schools to close for days.
We had to go quite old school and ask people to tell their neighbors and to use word of mouth to make sure people understood that we were closed, that we had limited communications.
There's a lot of damage still on all of our campuses, so I'm just asking people to continue to stay off of our campuses.
2 schools near the Issaquah Commons were hit the hardest, with trees and power lines blocking roads and slowing cleanup.
Holly Street Early Learning Center and Issaquah Valley Elementary had a lot of trees down, and in particular, trees had fallen on the roofs of both of those sites. The most significant damage was at the Holly Street Learning Center, and then there was some minor damage at Issaquah Valley that we had to relocate one classroom while we repaired that roof.
The outages left many families struggling, with students trying to find places to charge devices or access the internet, and teachers unable to send out classwork. Now the district is hoping to get the community on board to help make upgrades for the future.
We know that we are coming up for a renewal in our levies coming up in February, so it's important that we maintain and sustain our work, and that set of levies will actually help us with our critical repairs and capital projects, so that we are always modernizing our HVAC systems and keeping our power systems up to date, so that when these events do hit us, we can recover more quickly.
When powerful storms like this slam western Washington, the first question many ask is, are they happening more often? Longtime King 5 meteorologist Rich Marriott says there's no clear evidence of that.
We only tend to see a few every decade, so it's a pretty small data set, and we really don't have good data before about 1960 when we got satellites, because a lot of stuff happened out in the Pacific that we never knew about unless a ship just happened to go underneath it.
Still, as this latest storm showed, even rare events can cause major damage, and the superintendent says community connections are key to getting through them.
Human, relationships matter, and so when we have hard moments, we can check in on each other and help to make sure our neighbors and partners are doing okay, and we can figure out what we can share to help lighten the load and to navigate a tough situation.
All of this bomb cyclone coverage leads up to a 1 hour long special by King 5 in Seattle on recovery efforts still happening 1 year later. You can watch it tonight on King 5 Plus at 8 p.m. You can download that for free and watch on your TV. Well, that does it for us here on Weather Out West on this Wednesday, November 19th. I'm meteorologist Leah Pizzetti. Thank you so much for sticking with me today. We will be back here tomorrow, same time, same place. Have a great day.